Hi, I'm Mike Miller. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks so much for watching The Other Side. My guest today has a recording studio, has been involved with music for many years, and also has exotic pets, and I'm glad to have Aaron Brent, TR Nudge, here today. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
So how's your year going so far?
So far, so good. Yeah, 2017 was a good one too.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm still living in that.
How long have you lived in Denton?
Since probably about the back end of 98, I think.
98?
Yeah.
Where did you live before you came to
I
Denton?
lived in Austin, Waco, and Abilene before this.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. Went to high school out in Abilene, then left like my 11th grade year and finished high school in Austin.
Really?
And just like wanted to get involved out there.
With the music scene?
Yeah, just that place was attractive to me at the time, and
Oh, yeah.
I lived in like a small town, and you know, I just wanted more culture, basically.
Yeah. Austin really has it going on, and did in the past, too.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Still to this day, definitely.
Were you playing guitar at that point?
Now, I started playing like bass clef instruments, bass guitar. Before that, I played tuba.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
In the high school band, you played tuba?
yep, sure did.
That's some good training.
It was fun. A lot of fun. Played a lot of like John Williams and just stuff like that. Like,
Yeah. That's really good to learn bass parts for some classic songs like that.
Indeed. Really good training for sure.
Yeah. Were you in the choir?
No,
Yeah.
no. I was kind of an outsider. A friend of mine, they actually needed like a stand-in guy just to do marching because they just didn't have enough people marching on the field.
Yeah.
Because they would build these arrangements for the field and there were gaps. So they were like, man, we need like 15 people. And I just happened to be somebody that like a baritone player talked into
Yeah.
coming out and learning to march. And then after I learned to march, then I actually learned how to play the instrument.
Yeah.
And I would have to go to sectionals and, you know, private classes every day until I could like play a chromatic scale or whatever on the instrument.
Yeah. Well, that's good to have that training such as that.
Yeah, indeed.
Austin, you were like starting to go to the open mics and just to hear jams and things like that, and
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I would say that I caught the back end of like Liberty Lunch and that venue, and they had like stuff that I liked. I liked punk rock music
yeah.
and stuff like that, more like counterculture stuff. So that kept me there. But I think once they knocked that down, that kind of, I don't know.
An end of an era.
Definitely. It was easy for me to move or, you know, go somewhere else.
And that's when you came to Denton?
Yeah, it was. Yep. Finished high school, worked in Austin for about a year, and then came on up to North Texas.
Yeah. You started, did you start playing with some bands about that time?
I did. My friend had a recording studio over on Oak Street, 4 tracks, 8 tracks, you know. And we'd just sit around and demo tunes. And then there was a practice room kind of over off Teasley, like a warehouse building. We'd go over there and practice, play, you know, do that thing.
Just like recording cover songs?
No, everybody wrote original songs.
Really?
Yeah. I was in with like a pretty nice clique of artists who wrote, you know, their own tunes, had their own kind of thing they were doing. It wasn't actually until recently that I personally started playing cover tunes.
Really?
Last 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah. Who were some of the people you started meeting and working with?
During what era?
Well, when you first got here?
Well, let's see. All my friends were in college. I basically was just kind of like a working guy. Worked at like a telemarketing place, stuff like that. Played with like UNT guys who had like funk bands. My friend Ian Tordella, Johnny Coolmax, Tex Bosley, a bunch of those guys actually.
Yeah.
So, and some of those guys are actually still around now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So they had like funk bands and stuff like that. I mean, they threw out a whole gamut of things, Latin percussion and bop and all that stuff. So pretty much got a good education of music from them too, just more extended learning. And then, we just have house parties. My band was more of like a noise rock band, but it had like a lot of folk rock things going on. And we had 2 songwriters, and, we went like that for many years, almost a decade at least, real strong.
Really?
Yeah, and then, people come and they go from Denton,
Yeah.
So.
You lost a few people just based on
Oh, yeah.
moving away.
Definitely. I mean, like, if you hang around here long enough, I mean, you know how it is, kind of little crops come and go, people.
Yeah.
And that's always interesting,
And you were becoming involved with recording.
A lot of recording, a lot of performance art. I have a strong kind of affinity for performing live, and lots of just, I think one of my first records I did outside of playing bass in a band, is I just had like this collaborative effort where I brought in a Rhodes player, Moog, upright, piano, and then found sound things like burning of a matchstick, on a mic, or like nighttime sounds, animals, crickets, and then we would just find some like soundscapes that we thought were good, and then put a band over it. So we'd have a recording session and kind of build it around like this atmosphere that we kind of created.
Mm-hmm.
We did that for a couple years. We made a lot of records.
Really?
In '98, we started like kind of like a spoken word record. Like next year, it'll be the 20th anniversary of that, and that was like a really cool release, I think.
That's great.
Lots of improvisational kind of music.
Who were some of the people on that?
A lot of the same people. My friend Zach Landreneau, my friend David Young. Surprisingly, I remember everybody who did this recording. Zach Landreneau, all people have moved around.
Yeah.
Ian Tordella, Justin Collins, Wade Hackett, just guys I'd played music with,
And Justin has played in various bands.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Justin's it's just like kind of sweating out of him, more or less.
The Raised Right Men, is he in that group?
He is.
He is,
I believe
yeah.
he's the lead singer.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen him at Twilight Tunes or something like that. I like his voice.
That makes sense.
And he plays drums as well as guitar.
Yeah, he plays drums. He plays banjo.
Banjo.
He plays guitar pretty good. He used to be an electric guitar player, and then he got into acoustic stuff, and I've never seen him play an electric guitar since then, really.
Yeah.
Banjo, he got me into banjo, definitely. That was kind of like the final chapter of our kind of musical friendship.
Yeah.
That he just gave me a banjo, actually.
Well, that's nice of him.
It was nice of him. Cool banjo. Learned a lot. Learned how to play banjo on that thing. Love to play banjo.
It actually has a drum head on it.
Yeah, it does. And it has a resonator, and it can be made, and it's made of aluminum as well. Nice banjo, fun to play. Loud. Banjo is super loud.
Are they difficult to record?
No, not really. Not if the person playing the song, they've rehearsed it and they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Typically, it's not that hard.
Yeah. Does it take, do you put a mic in front of it, or do some of them have pickups? Or?
Some people prefer a mic, some people prefer a pickup. It really just depends on the time, the kind of production you're doing, Banjo is a pretty flexible instrument. It sounds good, recorded a lot of different ways,
Yeah. Did you ever play at Rubber Gloves?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I played at Rubber Gloves when it was BYOB. And yeah, I saw the whole thing kind of come up. Rehearsed there for probably the better part of a decade.
Really?
Yeah,
In
one
that
of those
building they
outside
had
units outside, yeah, downstairs. Rented that for a long time with the band, and then some time went by, and then got back over there and rented it again.
I saw a lot of touring bands there over the years.
Yeah, that's something that like my current bandmates and I discuss like often, like tons of bands. Seeing Cat Power there, Unwound, Modest Mouse. I mean, like, you know, we could just rifle out all the stuff we've seen there.
Yeah.
Some of our favorite bands like Mandarin. Mandarin's a great band from Denton. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I've heard of them.
They played there a lot. They were a great band. Still, like, great songwriting coming from that, like, family of bands.
Yeah.
Really cool.
I thought it was nice how they used to have the benefit in the fall, like Humane Society, but it was associated with whatever. I mean, you could see a lot of the local bands just over that 1 week.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Potluck type thing where people would bring food, and I think you could bring your dogs, you know.
Oh, yeah. I took my dogs up there all the time. There's plenty of, like, open space at Rubber Glove, so your pets can kind of run around if you don't. I mean, there's probably a lot of broken glass there now, so
Yeah.
maybe not such a hot spot anymore. But
So I guess it's all closed up now.
it is. I heard it's going to reopen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know any of the details at all.
Yeah.
Some of my more gossipy friends would know what the deal with that is right now.
Yeah. But it will reopen as a club.
I would suspect
Yeah.
that would be the case.
It's got the floor plan for it, I guess.
Yeah, it's huge. It's massive. It's a huge space.
A nice big stage
Yeah.
and the little sound booth.
It would be really cool if it'd be really cool if they like did something special with it. Invested like deeply into it. But we'll see what happens.
I'm glad J&J's is open again in the basement.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm always glad that there's any place like that where people can get in there and hear some music and mix it up like that.
Have you been in there since they reopened that?
No, haven't. I got a show there. Somebody just hit me up
Oh, really?
earlier today and was like, "Hey, there's a show. We're gonna do a show." I was like, "All right, cool."
You'll be playing there?
Done a bunch of shows there.
Yeah, well, that'd be good. A good feeling to get back in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Andy's, they've continued to have a lot of shows and the open mic and so on.
Definitely. Andy's is a great place. It has a long history playing music, supporting music.
Have you played there off and on? Or?
Yeah, sure. All the early 2000s mini bands that I played in, played there, you know.
Yeah, that's great.
And then now, yeah, currently. Got shows booked there, too.
That's good. What is the name of the group you're working with?
This group I'm working with currently is called Slack Beat. It's like an
Slackbeat.
experimental percussion group with samples, synthesizers, and found sound kind of things.
Yeah. And found sound?
Yeah, like tape recordings of like things like public events or road sounds or train sounds, you know, things you would encounter. And
Just
so
an
I
everyday
incorporate those
world.
in. And radio sounds. So I bring a radio transmitter on stage and hook it into the mixer and then try to basically mix it in and match it with the tempo of whatever we're doing.
A radio transmitter?
A radio.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, so you just hook. I'll hook like a theremin, a radio, like a synthesizer, like a monophonic synthesizer, and a microphone, and then I hook that into a mixer, and then I hook the mixer into a sampler, and the sampler has a tap tempo on it, so you can match the speed of whatever's happening musically in the room. And that is a project I've been doing for several years now.
That's good that you do things like a theremin.
Theremin, yeah. Love playing the theremin. I have kind of just a really quick and dirty version of the theremin made by this guy in Milwaukee. It's just like in a little plastic case with an antenna, and you just
Yeah.
rock it out. There's definitely better versions of it.
I've seen a few of those over the years, but that's amazing.
Yeah, they're fun to play, and you know they fit almost into any mix. If you're trying to create like a soundscape, you can pretty much get a theremin in there, and
Oh, really?
it's familiar. People have heard it for a very long time, so It's cool.
There's really a long history on those.
Yeah, Claire Rockmore. Claire Rockmore, she was a theremin player. There's a really good documentary about it. What's that guy's name? You know, the banjo player, comedian, gray hair.
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin made a documentary about Clara Rockmore.
Really?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's got just the evidence of all the whole period from where she started. And actually has a lot to do with Leon Theremin, I think that's the name of the inventor.
Really?
Bad right now, but yeah, Leon
You're doing
Theremin.
good, yeah.
He knew Clara Rockmore, and she could play like classical compositions on the theremin.
Really?
So, but I mean, like Leon Theremin had like a whole warehouse filled with regalia. He had like an upright bass rendition of the theremin, which works basically. Are you familiar with the theremin? How it works?
Not really. Go ahead. And for those who don't know.
Essentially, it's like a. I'm bad with this because I used to know it, but it deals with. I want to say radio. It's a radio frequency.
Radio frequency.
Yeah, I'm bad with it right now because I just play it and use it, and it's just some ingredient.
Yeah.
I once learned it, but yeah.
Like a arc of a wave or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a sound wave type thing. I mean, I'm completely ignorant to it at this point because I just use it and abuse it and use it every day almost.
Are they very expensive?
Nah, I mean, you can get them anywhere from $5 to $500.
Oh, really?
It's just one of those things. You can get it in a plastic case, you get it in a nice wood case, and there's some circuits that people have been designing that are more eloquent than others are.
They have them like at electronic stores.
You could find a schematic for one and build it probably in an afternoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And yeah,
We don't
they're
have
easy.
Radio Shack anymore.
We don't. You just go down to like Tanner Electronics or go online and hit one of those like hit Mouser or something, DigiKey, and build you out. Get
Yeah.
you all the parts for it, you know?
Yeah. Have you ever built guitars?
Nah. I mean, I've built stringed instruments, experimental stuff like around 2007-8, me and my friend, we just made a hip hop record, and kind of like we'd spent a lot of time doing like digital kind of style productions with MIDI and all kinds of stuff and samples and all this. And then we started performing together, and I created this device. And I was inspired by this guy. This guy's a maniac. His name's Spintendo, aka Daniel Howington. He lives here in town. But he's a DJ. But he created all these DJ toys that you could attach to the turntable and spin them and use the transducer on the turntable to read different textures, and then he could mix them, you know,
Really?
and then really cool. And my toy that I made was just this like diddly bow, like a guitar string on a little micro bridge and a tuner, and I hand wound a pickup coil, put it on there, and then put a motor on it, and then like would mix that in with his thing. And we do
Really?
like these kind of like electroacoustic sets for a couple of years. We did that just at like house shows and stuff like that.
That sounds pretty ingenious, though.
It was fun. We can make a lot of really interesting music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
And today you brought your guitar.
I brought my guitar. I like it. It's easy to travel with.
Yeah.
People recognize that it's a guitar.
You can't bring your whole recording studio just.
Yeah. I mean, I have a bunch of gadgets and things that I tote with me to shows and things like that
Yeah.
now. You know, there by no means is it practical at all. It's just to make art. Making art can be like really labor
Yeah, intensive. That's right. But I do appreciate you coming down.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm always happy to talk about anything, especially art, music. I could go on and on.
Well, you know, a lot of you've interacted with a lot of people in the community over the years.
Sure, yeah.
There was quite a draw, like at Rubber Gloves back in the past, and J&J's downstairs, just crowds of people, you know.
Yeah. always, I mean, there's always a different crowd, and
Yeah, as the UNT crowd changes.
sure, I mean, there's just different crowds of people. It will amaze you how many different kind of subcultures there are in our region.
Yeah,
You know, I
That's-
think most people would be amazed.
I know it. Yeah.
There was once a point where you could go into that club and like literally you wouldn't recognize anyone but the bartenders, and because you know there's a different group of people in to see a different band. You know,
Yeah. All bands have their fan club, more or less,
yeah,
if they're lucky. Yeah.
truth there.
So thanks so much, and you guys stay tuned and check out TR Nudge playing some music for you. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.
Cumberland Gap, devil of a gap. Cumberland Gap, devil of a gap. Cumberland Gap, it's a devil of a gap. Kiss me, mama, kiss your boy. Bless me where I'm lucky. For I won't return, I'm going to old Kentucky. Cumberland Gap, devil of a gap. That's what the scouts all tell ya. Sure enough, it'll make it tough. If it doesn't kill ya, kill ya. Kentucky, she's waiting on the other side. Give you fever, put the daylight in your eye. Brother John's already gone with the full good Cherokee maiden. Made the trip on the blizzard's grip. I'd rather wrestle Satan. Cumberland Gap, devil of a gap. Oh, the snow kept coming. Picked her up upon his back. My God, he loved that woman. Daniel stood on the pinnacle rock, up and down the mountain, took his trusty old flintlock. Daniel started shouting, Kentucky, she's waiting on the other side. Give you fever, put the daylight in your eye. Cumberland Gap, devil of a gap. Cumberland Gap, devil of a gap. Cumberland Gap, it's a devil of a gap. That's a song that's by Dave Rawlings called Cumberland Gap. It's a beautiful song. All right, this other song here is my last song. It's called Dark as a Dungeon, and it was popularized by Tennessee Ernie Ford, and it was written by Merle Travis. I'll give this guy a try real quick. Come listen, you fellas, so young and so fine. Seek not your fortune in the dark, dreary mine. It will form as a habit and seep into your soul, till the stream of your blood is black as the coal. Yeah, it's dark as a dungeon and damp as the dew, where the danger is double and the pleasures are few, where the rain never falls and the sun never shines. Yeah, it's dark as a dungeon way down in the mines. Yeah, it's many a man I've known in my day lived just to labor his young life away, like a fiend with his dope and a drunkard with his wine. A man will have lust for the lure of the mind. Well, it's dark as a dungeon and damp as the dew, where the danger is double and the pleasures are few, where the rain never falls and the sun never shines. Yeah, it's dark as a dungeon way down in the mines. Well, the midnight, the morning, or the middle of the day, it's the same to the miner who terrors away. Where the demons of death often come by surprise. One fall of the slate and you're buried alive. Yeah, it's stuck as a dungeon and damp as to do, where the danger is double and the pleasures are few, where the rain never falls and the sun never shines. Yeah, it's dark as a dungeon way down in the mines. Well, I hope when I'm gone and the ages shall roll, my body will blacken and turn into coal. Then I look from the door of my heavenly home and pity the miner who's digging my bones. It was a song by Tennessee Ernie Ford and written by Merle Travis. Good old country song.
And they tell me, follow your dreams. And they say, do what you want, and money will come.